because I've read about it, but I would love to hear from your perspective just what it was like to receive that phone call.
Yeah, I would love to tell it. So during that time, I was back from Berkeley. I remember where I was. It's wild. My house that I grew up in was on a street called Old Gate Road, standing in the kitchen on an old, push button phone. The phone rang and I picked it up. It was somebody with an English accent and this said, my name's Sasha and what you're doing is really special. And I would love for you to come over here and to spend time with you in the studio and to work together. And so I literally thought that it was a friend of mine pranking me, right? I mean, Ali and I, well, we did some pretty epic pranks on one another. If you ever have Ali on this, I'll let him tell one first and then I'll come back and I'll get him back. Okay. It could have been a friend pranking me. I couldn't believe that someone was calling me. Just for some context and framing, I'd gotten out of Berkeley. I went to Los Angeles. I would call what I did in Los Angeles the first time failing, right? Like trying to get a record deal. And, people were signing things that sounded like, they're signing like hair metal stuff. And they're like, you're making these pieces of music influenced by jazz harmony, like 10-minute long pieces of music. These, we don't even understand what this is. People won't even listen to a whole piece of music. So kind of came back to my family house in Maryland, trying to, regroup and get my bearings, set up a little studio in my bedroom that I grew up in my parents' house. I was making this music and made my first track and, for Deep Dish. And this was my second piece of music. And my parents are thinking like, my God, what's our son going to do? And I'm thinking, my God, what am I going to do? Like, because I'm making this music in isolation. There's not an audience for it. It's just like we all loved this music and we were up all night at one another's house. I remember, working on things like Hideaway and Casa de X at Ali's house over in Germantown and then staying up all night the next night working on, whatever at my house. And so these things were happening in complete isolation. And so to hear that there was an audience of one, like forget about people in the abstract, that there was one person that got it, like actually got it outside our friend group, was a complete and total life-changing affirmation for me. It's hard for me to talk about, honestly. It's weird. I get weirdly emotional even thinking about it because that phone call from Sasha completely and totally changed my life.